Hey, Redeeming Grace Church family and friends, Pastor Josh here with the first weekly update of 2023. After a beautiful Advent season and end to 2022, we're really looking to gear things up now, get all of our groups and outreaches and connection points up and rolling for the new year. And so this weekend is a big weekend. There's a lot going on this weekend as we get things rolling. So I would ask you, as I list off some of the things that are going on, to pick one or two things or more that you could be involved in. Not every weekend is like this, but this is a big one as we just get all of the things rolling that we want to be a part of our life and schedule in 2023. So first of all is this Saturday at 8 a.m. From 8 a.m. to 11, we're doing an outreach breakfast here in the community at the Senior Center, the Minaloosahan Senior Center. Bob and Betty have been heading that up ever since the beginning of our church, once a quarter. We do a Facebook ad. We usually get anywhere from 80 to over 100 people that come. And it's just a wonderful time to just serve breakfast to people and to slow people down a little bit, to get them around tables, to get them in a room with people they might never have met before and make connections. And for us to just have a reputation in the community as being a relational church that's involved and engaged and inviting. And so this is an opportunity to do that. The past few breakfasts have been really lowly staffed. And so in some ways that makes the dynamic a little more challenging because we're trying to be inviting and hospitable. But if everybody's just so overwhelmed because they're having to do 4 or 5 different jobs, that makes it really tricky. So it would be more fun if there would be a handful of you that would come. And even if you would just be a presence at the tables, a welcoming presence so that people could get a feel for our church in a nice, safe environment with a little bit lower bar than coming in on a worship service, that would be really good. We definitely could use the help. So consider being a part of that. It's just once a quarter, and you get fed, and it's a beautiful thing. We've made a lot of really interesting connections there. Also, I believe this Saturday is also our furniture delivery at 9 a.m. So that'll be happening at about the same time as the breakfast. And so if you want to be part of that team that goes out and delivers furniture through Love Inc. for a couple days, for a couple hours, couple deliveries, that's what I want to say, a couple deliveries usually each time, then let me know and I'll get you connected with the team members. And that's a wonderful opportunity to take a little bit of your Saturday and spend it on someone else, someone in our community that has a need, that's been waiting, that's earned this furniture, and to just go into their home and bless them with it, and then to pray with them and ask about pictures on the wall and kind of just see how someone else lives, and to be able to kind of hear their story and be encouraged by them, or have a chance to encourage them, maybe even share the gospel with them. It's a beautiful way to spend a Saturday morning, and I would encourage you to consider that as well. So those two things are happening Saturday. Sunday, we kick back off our growth classes at 9:15 in the morning. And so that will be for kids. We're going to get back into our gospel story program curriculum. There's a devotional that goes along with that for home devotions. We're going to be starting the New Testament, so that'll be great. They'll get to kick off 2023 looking at the Christmas story again. And so January is a great time to look at the Christmas story. So that's happening. The middle schoolers are still in the middle of a study through the book of Daniel. So I'm sure they're having a great time going through that really bizarre, crazy, but really cool book. And then we as adults, high school and adults, we're going to be in the theater from 9:15 to 10 a.m. is the growth class hour. And we're just going to look at how to study the Bible. So I'm going to walk you through some principles of how to study the Bible. I may also just talk about how I dig into it every week and how I assemble sermons. And so it's going to be more laboratory style. I'm going to give some tools and some tricks, but then in groups, you're going to have an opportunity to just dig apart a passage yourself and get it wrong and get it right, and just have the skills to do it yourself. And one of the things I'm hoping is that maybe we could get to the point where we feel confident enough in our Bible study to not only glean truths out for ourselves, just be able to organize it in a way that we could then do it to others. I would love for everybody in that room, by the time we're done with this class, to be able to get up and lead a 10 or 15-minute devotional, or be able to sit down with somebody and walk them through a passage in an organized fashion. So this isn't just about you being able to nourish yourself with the Bible better, but also you being able to handle it in a way that you could serve other people. And if for some reason I get hit by a bus on the way to church, there would be a whole bunch of people who could get up and capably handle a passage of scripture, and that the whole church would be able to join in that. And so I think it'll be a great thing. I think you'll appreciate sort of how sermons are put together, how Bible studies are put together, because you'll understand more of the mechanics yourself, and you'll actually be able to do some of it yourself, which would be really cool. So encourage you to make Sunday mornings the Lord's Day, more than just a Lord's hour, it's the Lord's Day in Scripture. And so to give an extra 45 minutes before service, to give yourself to extra instruction and fellowship, really would encourage you to consider the growth class hour. For our service, we're going to go back to our regular order of service with prayers of confession and an intercession. So a little bit longer order of service than our Advent series. And we're going to be jumping back into James. We'll be in James 2, 1 through I think it's 13 on Sunday. So you can be reading that ahead of time and preparing your heart for what will be a pretty convicting passage this Sunday. After church, right here at the Ministry Center, we're going to host a guest lunch or a welcome lunch. I've called it different things. And so if some of you are newer to our church and maybe you'd like kind of an opportunity to, one, get a free lunch, two, just get to know a few more people in kind of a casual, low-stress environment, then we would love to serve you lunch and then just invite you to come see what a small group feels like, to maybe talk a little bit about the church. Sometimes if people are interested, I tell my testimony or how the church started. So if you're newer to the church, like have started coming in the last few months, and you'd like to sort of just kind of dip your toe into sort of the deeper life of the body of the church, then this lunch would be great. So if you'd let me know so we could plan on food, if you'd like to come, I'll send some personal invites as well. And then lastly, next Monday is when we're going to kick off the men's theology night. I'm moving my Tuesday morning book study to Monday evenings, and I hope that opens up an opportunity for some of you guys to come here. I have my invite list, so some of you are going to also be getting texts from me with a personal invite to come. I think on my list I have like 45 to 50 guys that I'm going to invite. Now, not everybody will come, but I really do think that we'll have a ministry center full of guys of all ages and life stages, reading through good theology together, discussing it together, the truths of God, things like what is the character of God, what is the Trinity, what is the person and work of Christ, what is man, what is sin, what is gender and sexuality, what is salvation, what are angels, demons, and Satan. We'll be looking at things like heaven and hell and the church, and then what we're going to be doing is applying those to everyday scenarios. So my plan is to have a couple of questions or case studies where things that you might encounter in life, a coworker, a child, or something, where these doctrines are really relevant to how you would engage someone else with Christianity. So this will be great. So we just encourage guys of all age, middle schoolers, if you're willing to read and be a part of it, high schoolers, on up to as many of the men that would want to come as possible. We will read through a book, we'll read a chapter a week, discuss it, and try to apply it real practically to real life situations that we run into as we encounter people with other worldviews. Some of the messaging that we get from the culture, we're just going to really embed ourselves deeply in the truths of Christianity and be able to really handle them well, understand them well, and offer them to other people as truths from God. So that's what's going on this weekend. Lots of service on Saturday, lots of equipping and worship on Sunday, and then, men, we're going to really dig into some meaty stuff on Monday nights. And so would love to have you jump in on any of those things. Let me know if there's any questions that rise. And please take a little bit of time this weekend as we get the church up and going. I can't do this myself. So I would ask you all, especially if you're a member of the church, to go, where is one thing where I could add some energy and some presence to give a little bit of my weekend in order to help make sure this church really gets up and gets rolling in this new season with all of these things that we've agreed on together. So I love you. Thank you for all the things that you do. Keep praying for one another, encouraging one another, stirring one another up to love and good deeds. And I hope that you're safe during the snow. And I pray that it will be a wonderful new year for all of us together. So hope to see you this weekend. Bye.